I gotta be real. If I was in Star Wars, I'd probably be a space racist. No, Mr. Windu, not like that. But you know, if we're taking mushrooms, I'm sorry, but Weo Celia cannot come to the function. I'm sorry. I got a friend who's a bug person. I like bug people. I just think for sanitary reasons, maybe we should have our own water fountains. Silly bit aside, isn't it kind of odd how there's very clearly some kind of space apartheid thing going on, but it's never addressed by any of the characters in the movie? Like, the Empire is obviously old dudes, right? No surprise there. They're like the space Nazis. But Coruscant, all the big movers and shakers are dudes. In fact, it seems the higher you are in space society, the less bug and fish dudes you see. They got them on those political bumper cars, but nobody ever asks them shit. I feel like there's just no way everybody's jazzed about this arrangement, but you never really hear about it. The Rebels definitely have more fish and bug dudes than the Empire, but even they kind of treat Chewbacca like a dog. But like, he's a guy. He's like a full dude who can understand English and shoot a gun. I think it'd be cool to dive into this as kind of like a fun thought experiment. But just so nobody gets their knickers in a twist, I haven't seen every single Star Wars media ever. But I've done like all the movies. Except maybe not I don't think Palpatine's come back. I don't think that one. But look, although inequality is touched upon, it's like in a good versus evil way. And not in a, don't make me get that more team, boy, kind of way. And I just want to make one thing real clear here. I am not touching them two Chinese dudes, Victory and Watto. Money. My boy George knew what he was doing. I'm not going there, all right? Hell no. So I think one thing that really doesn't help with the optics of this space apartheid business is that nobody wants to look cheap when you're making Star Wars, right? You gotta make nude dudes every movie. I don't want to see Ben Quadrinos again. I seen him in the last one. So basically, you end up with nude dudes each movie, rather than fleshing out the existing ones, leading to humans appearing to have a pretty massive ethnic majority. Ethnic is the term, right? I don't know. You also end up with a very broad range of dudes. So many, in fact, that I think for the sake of the video, I'm going to put them into categories. You got bug people, fish dudes, dogs, quirked up dudes, and then regular guys. I feel like you can kind of figure that one out for yourself, to be honest. What is interesting, though, is that there's a pretty clear correlation between your place on this spectrum of dudes and where you fit into the hierarchy of space society. I never saw a sign saying no bug people, but like, come on. These dudes were not getting in the clubs, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the good guys draw the line at fish people. I feel like if you're just a quirked up dude, though, you're pretty much chilling. I mean, really, you are just a guy. You are just a dude, but you're red, or you're blue, or you have like that weird long head, or, you know, horn, something cool like that, you know? I think you'd be mostly fine. Maybe a little bigotry. You'd probably catch some slurs from some terminally online space dude who's unreasonably obsessed with Neomodian women, but, you know, that's life. So, on to the big questions. Where does Jabba the Hutt take a shit? Would it be reasonable to build a toilet infrastructure for a giant slug in every space 7-Eleven? Because of one dude who's kind of an asshole, by the way. I would say no, but then would it also be unreasonable to say the giant slug, who's probably going to shit on the floor, isn't allowed into your restaurant? I'm not saying he's right, but I get it. When you think of it like this, it actually kind of adds up, right? Like, what if the entire reason for the space apartheid was toilet infrastructure? Like, what if people don't really care if you're blue, red, horns, or what? But all they care about is you got an ass that fits on a human toilet seat. And if you don't, get the hell out of my Naboo, boy. You're stinking up the joint with your poop butt. I can imagine the dude at Sith HR was like, hey, boss, what do you think about this dude? He's wicked good at swords, but he's all red. Well, does he have an ass? Yeah, just a normal ass, just red. Yeah, okay, send him through then. This makes even more sense when you realize that all the Outer Rim bug planets are like sand or lava. Ideal places to chuck a squat. No need for any bug-specific infrastructure. I genuinely think until we see a member of the Jedi Council be like, get that bug off my very personalized couch, this should be the prevailing theory behind the alien segregation. I can hear you all now saying, hey, look, the reason they don't say anything mean about the bug and the fish people is because Star Wars is so advanced as a civilization. They've moved beyond racism. But, Unc, be for real. They got space slaves, dude. Some weird bat pig thing who bears no resemblance to any other groups, might I add, bought Anakin as a child slave. I'm supposed to be surprised when he turns out to be Space Hitler? Be absolutely for real, dude. Also, not to mention, there's hella robot racism. There was times C-3PO and R2 couldn't get in the club. So the people of Star Wars have racism in their hearts at some level. And robots don't poop, so you know it's not because of any bathroom type situation. Also, the fact that the Sand People are an aggressive, non-language speaking people who live near highly populated urban areas without any authority arresting them indicates to me that they have some kind of indigenous land rights. Any society that understands the importance of indigenous land rights is definitely going to have some sort of issue with space segregation, unless it was for some sort of reasonable poop infrastructure related reason. I just think it's funny that the movies never talk about it. Would the weight of an apartheid allegory at the forefront of the film serve to make it better? My opinion is no. But it seems as if they wanted to hint at this imbalance whilst also giving you the space to connect the dots yourself. And it's in this space that I've discovered the real truth. Unless you want every restaurant to have 2 square kilometers of bathrooms to service the butt of every little freak Frank Oz came up with while carving up the snowy slopes of 1970s Hollywood, then you better send those bugs back to Tatooine. By the way, I had nowhere to fit this in the video, but Obi-Wan cuts off the arm of the bug person just because he was a bit staunchy at the bar. But Qui-Gon literally wouldn't even take away Anakin's slave mom because it would have been, I don't know, like unfair to the goblin slave trader. I don't know. Kind of odd.